Yeah, you are all welcome to the Benin Advancement Forum, the homes of all the Beninese. No matter the language you speak, no matter how you look like, beautiful, not beautiful, heroes, not heroes, our heroines and others are highly welcome. Today is going to be a very, very quick and short one because of time limit. Yes, as you all know, the invasion of Benin started. That was yesterday in the night and continued till I think about 8 or 9 days that took the British to overrun Benin City and to exile our own Oba Uvarame, Nogbasi. And yes, till date, a lot has happened. A lot has happened. There have been a lot of uh, negative things that has really happened in our land in Benin Empire. After the invasion, we were then, and after the exile of the Oba Ovurame, there was a vacuum. There was a power struggle between so many Benin chiefs. For one, like Obaseki and so many of them, who were trying to take over power either by force or by influence of the British people or the British Empire. But you know, people always say what the ancestors and the God Almighty didn't sanction will not function in that way. Yes, and we saw how the Benin monarchs and the Benin crown prince of those days fought to reinstate the Benin tradition, style, and system of ruling. And we what we are now enjoying today, we have to thank those people for standing their ground, for the rebuilding of Benin City, for the rebuilding of the Upper Palace, and so many other things they have done to date. You know, yeah, it's only a pity that our people are not taught histories in our schools, and they are not taught our language. Edo language is supposed to be a superior language in Nigeria till today, and the Benin history also supposed to be a superior uh, history, and in our schools, in our syllabus, they did, but we are not doing that. We doesn't see that as of this moment. Yes, there's a lot we have to do, and as you know, we were having people who start firm, defending with their bare hands, with bow and arrows, and with the few guns we were having to protect our people, to protect what we love. And today we cannot see that love for our land again. We cannot see that love for our land because our people lack sense of their belonging. They don't know where they belong to, and this is the high time to come out to start telling our people, teaching our people, coming together to allow them to understand the implication of not having where they belong. Because if you know your history and know where you come from, nobody can fool you. We have seen so many ways how the Biafrans, aggregators, and agitators, and the Ododo agitators have tried all their possible means to make sure our people are encroached into their own imaginary uh, country that they have been trying to create. It's only just few of us there out in social media, and they're not just only social media, physically going out there to talk to people about the Benin Empire. I think we have to increase our effort and join hands together with the monarch, with our Reverend Father, and the father of all the Benin's, no matter where they reside, to come together to have a one single language. That doesn't mean you cannot speak our Esan, we cannot speak our Ika, we cannot speak our Urobo or Ishekiri or Isoko or the Ukuani language and others. That doesn't really matter. What matters is when we also have a one language that we focus on, that represent us internationally, then we will be having the same level as the North, we will be having the same level as the western part, and we will be having the same level as the eastern part. Then nobody can fool us again. I have been preaching for the South-South unification, to have a South-South unification, because the territory of the former Benin Empire or the Benin Empire is even more larger than that, 3 times larger, not even 3 times, is even more 50 times larger than it is today. Those that are claiming Nigeria today doesn't even have land in Nigeria. Most of them are foreigners, like the Yorubas, they are foreigners in Nigeria. The Igbos are foreigners. The Hausa people and Fulanis are foreigners in Nigeria. But the indigenous, we have to start giving them a voice. Those who owns Nigeria, like the Ebire people, like the Edo Benin people as well, and so many other people who owns Nigeria, we need to start giving them a voice. Because when you look at the happenings of in Nigeria today, then you will understand that the British didn't left us deliberately to be there as one people. They have planned something for the future. Because of our resources, when we are fighting ourselves, our resources will be looted from back. And this is what they have been doing uh, from time to time. Let us look at the Igbos, for example. If you look at the Igbos, the five or the three major ethnics that make up Igbos, they cannot even have their own identity today. It's difficult for them to have their own identity because they already lost their identity to the name Igbo. It's likewise the Yorubas. Those 6 or 7 or 5 major groups that make up Yorubas also lost their identity to the name Yoruba from the British. And now we are having that problem to compete with these people. To compete with these people, and I think we need to be the competition. We have to grow up in that competition to match the level they are today. Okay, for example, the new states that are being created today or will be created, if you look at it, how the South is being marginalized. Edo State alone is bigger than the whole of the East, is bigger than the whole of the East. And now they are carving Edo, some part of Edo, to Ondo, from Ondo to form a new state. Edo is supposed to be minimum 4 states. Minimum 4 states. Orium was supposed to have their own state. Ovia is supposed to have their own state. Oredo supposed to have their own state. Asa supposed to have their own state. Etako, Afiema, and others are supposed to have their own state because we, in land mass and population, we are even more than the whole eastern part of Nigeria. We are more than that Yorubas we are talking about today. We are supposed to be having Ikwere State. We are supposed to be having Anioma State. We are supposed to be having so many states. You see? And so many local government, Orion local government can be divided into 6 local government because of the federal allocation. Now, we are going to be receiving the same allocation that is being allocated to those small states financially on our own disadvantage. And for our own development, it is time we start standing up. I'm tired of calling and calling. I'll be saying this, no matter who is going to lead, I will follow that person. I will support with all I have so that we have a South-South nation. Even though we are going to hold a referendum separating from Nigeria, let it go that way. Because we have been seeing how these three people, these three tribes, have been trying to marginalize our people to the lowest extent. They don't even count us as people. The British give them sense that we belong to them, but they were not taught that they are residing in our land, and now they are marginalizing us. Everyone knows I'm against violence. That is why I'm for referendum. To have a referendum for people to decide for themselves democratically according to the constitution of Nigeria. No one should be left behind. Now we are being left behind. They are creating Warri State because of the oil in those areas. How big is Warri place? How big is Warri? Delta State is supposed to be at least 3 or 4 states. Edo is supposed to be 3 or 4 states. Let us try to be understand. And let us understand one thing. There are people who is against that. To say, no, uh, we are going to separate us from brothers and sisters. No, it's not going to separate us. If we are not going to do that, if we won't allow them to divide Edo State into 4 or 5 states, even we are going to be on the disadvantage. Because of the revenue allocation, because of the project allocation, and so many other things that will be allocated to other states. Because we have been seeing, even the senators, House of Assembly, and so many other things, House of Representatives, that has been going on. We will be less represented, and this is now the situation. This is now the situation we are going to be facing. If you leave your father's house to form your own camp, to form your own village, to form your own town, that doesn't take you away from your father's house, if that is the problem we're having. Dividing Edo State will not take anybody, any Edo person, away from the Oba of Benin. Isan is our brother. Isako is our brothers and sisters. All is our brothers and sisters. The Urobo, the Isoko, the Ikwanis, they are our brothers and sisters. State will not take you away from where you belong. They know their traditional house, and I believe every one of them will respect that fully and comply. But if we cannot do that, I believe we are going to be having a very big problem financially in the future because of project allocation, the financial support from the federal government, and so many other things. Imagine recruitment of workers. If every state is providing 2 workers, the smaller state with all 1 million will provide 1 worker. Edo will provide only 1 worker. Edo with 7 million. So, is it an advantage or disadvantage? Project allocation. The project that will be allocated to every state will also be equal to that of Edo. We will not be having the amount we are supposed to be having to feed 7 million. It's quite different when you are feeding 7 million as feeding 1 million. Let us start reasoning. When people were saying we were against the division of local government, I think there's a lot of misinterpretation of so many nuisance that is going on social media. Appointing a no-gays doesn't have anything to do with local government. We, the traditionalists, we have the system of our own local government, has to divide and, for example, local government, council, ward, and all that. We have our own different way of doing that in the traditional ways. It doesn't even comply with that of the local government. When people are putting fake information in the social media, people don't care to confirm if what they are posting and bringing is uh, is the fact or this is fake. For example, for the past few days, there's a letter that's been trending in the social media about the letter the doctor of President Tinubu wrote to our Reverend Monarch. Yes, it is not bad and it is not forbidden for anybody to write our own monarch. But what was bad in that is to influence our Benin people. And at the same time, nobody cared to prove the authentication of that letter or that document to see uh, if this is real or a fake document. But all our Edo people were just descending on the palace, descending on the Benin monarch as if he's their greatest enemy ever. You have never heard any statement from the Benin Traditional Council, nor from the Oba Palace to confirm any ejeki. And now you are doing what you were doing. I have always said social media is there to educate people. And at the same time, it's also there to brainwash people, to give them fake information, to lose the sense of their belonging, to lose the sense of thinking for themselves. When we were in Great Benin Emancipation, or when Great Benin Emancipation was formed, I wasn't there when it was formed, but I came in very early, in the early stage, before the appointment and others of executive and all that, you know. And I have been looking at so many people, I've viewed so many people, provoked so many people to understand why they are there why they were there with us. And I came to understand that not all of them meant well for the Benin people. Not just, I will not say Edo people, but not for the Benin people. For the Benin people entirely. Because their actions speak louder. Greediness, supremacy, and other problems that we have in there. I tried my best to contain that. But when it were coming to an extent that I couldn't control that, not to disorganize any organization that is made for the good of our people, I decided to quit. And so many of our people who also understand the problem we were facing left also. Not that we didn't love our land, but we saw a problem that was coming that was too heavy to handle. Those who were pretending to love our people, who were pretending to love our monarch, who were pretending to love the Benin tradition or the Isan and others, were actually against whom we are. I never really talk about why I quit that organization. And today, we can see the vacuum that organization left. And no organization again can fill that vacuum because of selfishness, self-destruction, and so many others. When I see a lot of you today commenting on social media, in so many groups you are, insulting our monarchs, insulting me, insulting my friends who were with me then, calling me a traitor, doing all sorts of things. I always say, when the time comes, we will identify all of you. We will now know those who are real Benin with their heart. We will now also know how we love our tradition, how we love our monarch, how we love the Benin Traditional Council. And we have been seeing that. And I'm very happy for that. Some of you who were pretended for a very long time, to be doing that, to be defending Benin, defending. But in my own heart, I've always known these are the worst enemies of the Benin, the worst enemy of our people who have been pretending to be loving us. Why I put this background today is just because of the event that took place during that period. We were having EDOS, Isan, Wobo, and so many of them, of them that period, who pretended to love their people, joining forces with outsider to destroy our civilization, to impose another civilization on us that is giving us problem today, that is marginalizing us today. It is the time that we really wake up to see, to say, enough is enough. Forgiving every crime these people committed that period, they should be forgiven. We should not use it against their children or their grandchildren or their great-great-grandchildren because they cannot pay for the sin their father committed. Because these are different set of human beings. When I tell people that I'm not interested in politics, not that I'm really not interested in politics, it is because the way our people play the politics. It's like we're playing the politics of demonizing our people instead of, in some ways, to encourage them to do more. See, we also have the right to criticize anybody that is not performing, and I have been doing that, and I will also praising them for what they have done so far. But I also want you to understand that no Edo is more than any Edo person, or that is more Edo than any Edo person, or any Benin person that is more Benin than any other Benin person. And I also want you to understand that Aswe Igodalo is no more Eastern than Okpeholo. And Okpeholo is no more Eastern than Aswe Igodalo. So let us be focusing, because this segregation, supremacy problem we have been having, we need to contain it. We need to contain it. We have to bring sacrifice if we want to really unite our people. If South want to stand as one, we have to push our heads down, no matter who we choose to lead us. I will support him. I'll be saying this. And I will be using my own media to be calling for South unity. Because that is the only way. That is the only way. Because what we have been experiencing and what we are experiencing today is because of the background and the foundation we laid on ground that is affecting us seriously. Because somebody speak another different language, who you know is your own brother and your own sister, you will say, my Okba. Actually, Okba Mahin, whether you like it or not, you are not the one to say it, my Okba. Our forefather did that already, to say with Okba Mahin, Edona Eya Hiakekba, Ari Isiniaye, Edonorisi. For example, Igweben. Those who know the history of Igweben knows completely that Igweben is complete Edo person. And in most of these cases, when you look at it, In the Republic of Benin, which is the Benin Republic today, you will also understand Ehidema, Ehidema, and so many areas in Ghana today, in Angola, in in those coastal area, then you will understand how great your forefather was and why they say Okba Mahin. Your division, my Okba, is leading to our downfall. Is leading to our downfall. It's not bringing us forward. Is bringing us down. My Okba is bringing us down. Divide and conquer. That is what we are experiencing. You need to move forward. So that is all I have to say today. In honor of those that defend, that stand to defend the Benin people, whether it was Islam, they didn't care whether they come from Islam, whether they come from Robo, Isako, and so on, Isoko, they stand together to defend our land, to expand our empire, because they know Okpa Mahin. And now, people need to understand the sacrifice our ancestors brought. For example, Oba Akenzwa II, the creation of the Midwest. There are heroes there. For example, Anthony Enahoro was against the creation of the Midwest. Firmly, he fought with all he had against Oba Akenzwa. But Oba Akenzwa II never lost any word of bitterness against that man. He was even allowed to have status and so many other things in Benin. And those that stand firm with Oba Akenzwa II, that period, like Chief Omo Usaigi and so many of them, should be honored. We should have a memorial day to be honoring our ancestors, to honor them, to give thanks to them for their sacrifice. During the invasion of the Benin Empire by the British in 1897 or 79, pardon, our forefathers were fighting with bone and arrow and with the dang gun they were having, while the British were using their superior power, one of the modest weapon that was available that period. But our ancestors stood their ground. Our men and women stand their ground to defend what they love. And we cannot see that love today. And that is what is making me to be very, very sad. Even those of us or those of you that are highly educated, who has a professor, who has doctor's titles, engineer, we can see some of them, the stupidity that have developed in their brain and in their heart. We are one people with different language, with different culture, in different location, but from the same ancestors. So I would like to end this broadcast with Okba Mahin. We are one people. Thank you, our heroes and heroines, for standing their ground, and one love.